thanks to the government of Peru, thanks to SUNAP, and thanks to the organizers, thanks to everybody present in this hall to invite me to come all the way from India. I was just talking to a colleague saying this might be the first time somebody from India is speaking in this hall, maybe in Arequipa. Maybe for the first time. And a lot of time, I was telling that I have spoken at World Bank and UN corps full of 6,000 people and all that. This is the first talk I'll give in which I don't understand my introduction. So it's such an interesting thing to do this challenging job. I'll be speaking in English. I want to learn Spanish by the time I take my flight back to Delhi. At least 50 or 100 words, and I need to keep understanding. But language is not a very important parameter. I was in Lima yesterday and enjoying the food of Lima and the culture of Lima. It's so good. You know, we don't know much about this country back home in India, as you don't know much about India, except some fantasies about how India is and the elephants and stuff. You know. So thanks to the government, I was with the Ambassador of India yesterday, and we were discussing about how we can strengthen the relationship between Peru and India and what are the important things that are to be done. We just signed an agreement taking a lot of potato varieties from Machu Picchu to India and try to start working on them. Thanks, I'm a student of botany from my college. I studied in Delhi, and I was just wondering my botany days when I was not an officer working in the government. You gave us 3 biggest crops in the world. We owe to Peru for potato, tomato, and peanut. India is the largest. Potato, tomato, and peanut. You discovered that, you gave it to the world. We are the 2nd largest producer in the world. 2nd largest consumer and producer of potato, tomato, or peanut in the world. First, obviously, is our friend, China, always. So they are always ahead of us in India, but they produce more than us on all the things. So it was a dream to come to Peru. And when this invitation letter came, normally you travel to Europe and all the European countries and America and Australia and New Zealand. I lived in Australia for 2 years and in UK and Netherlands. We never think about South America as a workshop or a conference venue. Before I start my talk about what we're doing in India, a complex country, my boss, who is secretary, was totally, he says, you have an invitation from Peru and you're going to Peru to do a conference on land records and registry system. Normally you go to Europe and America. I told, it's good to go to another developing country, another brother and sister, and trying to find out what happens there. It's very important to understand what happens in these places and learn. I come here as a learner more than to tell what I'm supposed to be doing. So it was a very welcome. I'm exactly, if you drill through a hole through the earth, I think you will come out in India. We are 12 hours apart. It is morning time. We already had in India. So thanks for that invitation. Thanks for giving these 3 crops. Thanks to, my dream was also to, we come from a very old civilization in India, and having spent a lot of time in Egypt, looking at Mesopotamia, I went to Mexico and Cancun, spent 15 days looking at the Mayan civilization. My idea in life was also to look at your great civilization that you gave to the world. And tomorrow, after this conference, I travel for 4 days exploring the Inca civilization and what it gave to the world. It's good to live, look from your history. So I would be completing my wish list of seeing the Mayan civilization, the Indus civilization where I come from, the Mesopotamia civilization, the Egyptian civilization, and now, I think tomorrow onwards, the Inca civilization. So I'll complete my journey of discovering how humans discovered themselves and how they civilized and how they made their habitations and agriculture, and that's so important to understand. So thanks for that. Now, coming to this presentation, I don't know, I was in World Bank and I made a presentation about great things that we're doing in India, and a lot of Spanish friends in the registry and land records and the World Bank also appreciated the work, and now I'm traveling talking about what we are trying to do in India. We use technology a lot. We use ancient wisdom, ancient civilization, and we love to use technology. All the software and hardware that you use, mobiles and laptops are coded by Indians. Half of the scientists in NASA are Indians. So we are good at technology, but we are also good at preserving our civilization. So if I'm making sense, I'll start my presentation. So that's the country. It's extremely far away from here. I don't know. How many of you have gone to India? Just to maybe raise the hand. How many of you have gone to travel to India? One. Yeah. How many of you know? Okay, two. How many of you? What is the idea about India? Just to start presuming the presentation. The idea is very mysterious. Very far away country, full of forest and tigers and elephants, and a growing guy, third GDP in the world. We are currently the third largest GDP in the world. We have beaten everybody down. Fifth, going to be third shortly, gross domestic product economy wise. So we are growing very rapidly. We are changing overnight and transforming ourselves. But I'll tell you the journey, what we are trying to do in land record and registry. How many of you would be able to know English? And I know there's a printout given to you. It's very difficult to read a printout. How many of you are fine with English? How many of you are able to understand what I'm saying? To see my challenge? Okay, half the hall. Thank God. I was thinking, thanks for that. So this is the country where divided into a lot of provinces. We have the highest mountain chain in the world. On the north, which is the Himalayas. On the west is the deserts. On the east is the most thick evergreen forest in the world. And the bottom is the Indian Ocean, the largest ocean in the world. So ocean, desert, Himalayas, and plains. So everything possible. It's a continent. It's not a country that we are talking about. Next. Next, please. Yeah. Don't get scared by numbers. Just to scare you more, we are huge. So we have and 22 official languages, more than 1,000 local languages is the kind of country we are hosting. And land records and registries are maintained in so many languages. And we are making systems which can read languages, which can transfer languages on the go. I was using a tool when you were speaking and trying to look Spanish into English all the time. We have to do with 22 official languages and 300 unofficial languages in the country. Those are number of states and districts. Current GDP is $4 trillion. We want to become $10 trillion within next 5 years. We are growing rapidly, but we are going sustainably. We are going soft. We don't do large manufacturing. We don't do large scale mining. We normally grow by software and by brain and by coding things and by computers and IT and software. So that's the growth. We have a federal structure, we have a central government, and we have a state government. And land and registry. Registry is a central subject, land is a state subject. So it's quite complicated. I'll tell you the complication and how we are trying to resolve that. Registration system behaves independently of the cadastre. The land records and registration system, you can buy this hall, I can sell the hall, the registrar will register this hall because he's bothered about registration fee and stamp duty. The cadastre and the land record and the maps are separate from the, were separate. We have integrated now completely on the go. Very difficult journey. Last 2 years I have spent with a large team working on how do you integrate land records, the maps and the registry into one portal. So that's just to tell you the geography of the country. Next please. Okay. So as is everywhere in the world, I think land is not only about asset. A lot of people think land is an asset. Land is more than asset. It is pride. If you take away land from somebody, it is pride. I say land is a pride that you hold. Whether you hold a flat in Lima or a land parcel in Arequipa, it's a matter of pride that you own a particular piece of land. Land is pride, it's also livelihood. You see, a lot of emotions. So land is a very important dimension. It also gives welfare services. How much land you hold determines what welfare services are available to you. It also gives you, but the land, holders of land are extremely complicated people. I don't know, this hall is full of registrars, registry systems of the country. But people, I don't know about Peru, but in India, people presume that getting registration done is a difficult job. It's a difficult job. You have to go to government office many times. It is extremely cumbersome. Nobody understands the language, your records, how you maintain them. For the normal citizen, it is extremely we are in this comfortable hall talking about registration system. For a normal citizen, it is quite a complicated world. I don't know about Peru, but in India, people presume it is a very complicated world to go to a registrar or go to a land record guy and get the database. Now, next please. And a lot of other departments depend on this. I told about this. We have a huge variety of language, amazing variety of culture, regions, topography, nomenclature. How you maintain land? In 36 states in the country, we have 36 different formats to maintain records of land. Some have 41 entries, some have 6 entries. How do you integrate this? It's good to talk about technology. I was hearing the presentation on artificial intelligence very, very cautiously about how we can read a PDF file and read it out and create templates. I learned a lot from that. But it's extremely difficult to look at the complexity and diversity that is there in how you maintain land records. The first point. The second, with this being a state subject, just to elaborate it again, registration is a subject which is governed by the central government. Land is a subject which is governed by the state government. And both the system integration I'll talk about, and we're doing complete mapping of the whole country by oblique camera twin image. We are creating a twin image for the whole country in next 1 year. So we'll know who owns the land parcel, who is the owner, and if you sell and buy, the system will recognize that and it will be online. So we don't want papers anymore. No papers, completely online, completely paperless, completely presenceless. So presenceless means I can buy land and flat in Delhi. Sitting here in Peru is my dream about land records in India. But that is slightly going to be far. But we are doing this very quickly. I'll tell you how and what are the technology we are using. Then we have tried to do digitization of land records. I'll share the story that is there. Banks and mortgages are linked to land. So if you have a flat, your mortgage should be reflected. Your bank loan should be reflected. Anything else? Ultimately, in some of the cities in India, we are trying to figure out a system that you sell an apartment, everything else changes. The electricity connection changes in your name, water connection changes in your name, everything else, property tax changes in your name. All the systems are run by government in different buildings in Lima and Delhi, and we trouble people a lot. If you own a land or a flat in Delhi, you have to go to 32 times 7 offices to live in Delhi. We want to make it one click button, you can transform all that. We call it land stack, we're building land stack. Land is the base layer, everything else is a layer and many layers above that. We just started making that journey. Next. Yeah, so a long time, so we were under various kind of rulers for many, many years. So India was not independent for almost 400 years, very similar to South America. We share that with you. We share the agony and pains of that, but we understand. When I talk to people when I was visiting some of the glorious houses in Lima, I could understand what has gone through in this country for 300, 400 years, but I'm not going to scratch that. But asymmetrical land management, Britishers, when they came to India for around 1600, I think it's the same years here, if I'm right, but you got independence in 1820, we got in 1947, almost 100 years backlog. But 300 years of rule, one good thing happened is they measured every piece of land in the country. Britishers created land record in the country. But they created land record not for possession or ownership. They created land record to take tax. What do you grow? How much do you grow? Is the land irrigated or non-irrigated? How much can I tax? But luckily, they created land records. The idea was to tax. So land records in India was created for taxation. It was not created for ownership. And now the same records we are trying to use for ownership. When the land values become very high, those documents don't survive. Those maps were made by chain and compass, if you know this technology. It was very obsolete technology at that point of time. Today you can have, in India, I can have measurement of 5 centimeter standing anywhere in India. On standalone, there's an instrument called rover. I put a rover, I get 5 centimeter accuracy at any point of time, without any triangulation, without going to any reference. no ground control points. If you know land measurements, we don't use anything now. This year onwards, we are having 5 centimeter vertical and horizontal accuracy on the go. We built a system with the satellites that we have in the sky. So that's the journey. After independence, we started a program called Digital India Land Record Modernization Program. Digital India. India is known to be going digital very quickly. So we started a Digital India Land Record Modernization Program. We had a lot of progress. The green, we also realized that the Britishers forgot to measure the village land. Because the village land was not given any tax. If you have a village in the house in the village, you don't produce anything, so you can't tax. So they forgot to measure the habitations in the village. So we suddenly realized villages' land and villages' ownership and the houses were not measured. We just completed the program. We have measured all the villages in the country, given a property card to every village owner in the country in the last 5 years of work. We are doing similar thing for urban area now. We started a small program, 157 city. We want to do 5,000 cities, Delhi also, complete land record mapping on 3D imagery, looking at every building at any point of time. If you make one more floor, our satellites tell you that you have constructed one more floor. So that's the last program that I'm running right now. This program was started by us currently. I'll tell all in the time available to me. Next. Okay, next please. So this operated for almost 5 years. Next please. So this is what we thought we'll do. And we have completed all of that on target. In a complicated, high population density, small land holding country like India. So we have digitized, computerized all the land records in the country, 100% computerized. Whatever names were there, we have typed it out, completely typed. So you don't have any manual land records. I don't know about, I need to know and learn more about South America and particularly Peru. I'd like to have more conversations on that. I'm totally illiterate about that, but we have been able to type it out. So nothing is available on paper. Everything has been typed. So that is the first achievement. We also computerized all the registrar offices. We also have registrar offices, almost 4,437 registrar offices in the country, completely online, completely computerized. Then revenue courts. So when there is a dispute between two brothers or two owners, the matter goes to the justice system. Our earlier speaker was talking about Argentina and about the justice system there. And then it is a very prolonged phenomena. It goes on and on. I don't know about other places, but judiciary is slightly slow because it is to be fair. It has to be very sure about what judgment it is giving. Therefore, inherently, it is slow. So we have in our country given powers to the executive. If you understand judiciary, executive, and legislature, we have given powers to the executive to run courts. So that decisions are fast. So we have revenue courts. If you have a dispute, please come to a local officer. He resolves the dispute. And this is also totally online and paperless. And they are integrated to the land records and to the registry now. Then it involved a lot of training and capacity building. We also created modern record rooms because old documents were preserved for honorable judges to see at some point of time. So we have preserved all that in modern record rooms. We also, in the country, the last one on the top, the word is a Hindi word, Aadhaar. So everybody in the country has a unique identification number. Every citizen in the country have a unique identification number, a card issued to every citizen in the country. Huge exercise. It took almost 5-6 years to do that. And this number is constant in land records. We are putting this number in the land records now. And currently in the country, we have coded 14 layers into one layer. So if I know your vehicle number, I know your driving license, I know your bank account, I know what flats you own, so the system is now integrated. That is a huge task that we have done. So the last one in the top is consent-based, although it is consent-based. Do you want to integrate your unique identification to the land records? Yes, I want to. So you integrate. We have completed half, we want to complete almost complete. So every land record would have a unique identification number of every citizen. And that will make the journey slightly simpler, and mobile number, and address, and etc., etc. Next. Okay, so this is the journey we have completed. Computerization record of rights. Record of rights is basically text and numbers. It is not map. So text and number, 100% has been completed. When you come to registration system, 100% complete. We are trying to link, the third portion is interesting. How do you link the registrars to the land record guys? I don't know how it is called, the cadastre to the registration. So then when I register a land, the land record integrates with the registration system. And when I mutate into somebody else's name, the land record also mutates into somebody else's name. Now this is interoperable system. This we have built in some of the states. It is running perfectly fine. So when I want to sell this piece of land, it borrows from the cadastre, it borrows the map, it borrows the ownership from the cadastre, integrates in the registration document itself, and when the registration process is complete, it pushes the document to the land record cadastre guy to change it within a particular period of time. If there are multiple owners on the land, then all the brothers need to be asked, are you fine selling this land? Are you? So that process is also totally online. Everything comes on the WhatsApp. We are using WhatsApp, although it's a US-based system, but we are using it quite well because people can't survive. You can survive without food, but not without WhatsApp. Is the world we are living in. So we are using WhatsApp also for land records and registration system in big way. Next, and we assure that if you have registered a document today morning, by evening the registrar has to give you the document. The deed has to come to you before the registrar leaves the office, because if it comes later, it leads to a lot of things that we don't need to talk about. We all work in the government. We don't need to talk about why delays can be problematic in the government. Next. Yeah, so map, we have digitized completely, but we are launching a large program in the country to map it again. The whole of India, we want to map again and create a map at 5 centimeter resolution. Currently my map's at 2 meter resolution, which is quite vague. Land was cheap 50 years back, 100 years back. Land nearly in the outskirts of Lima or outskirts of Arequipa must be expensive compared to land as it was not expensive and it was all agricultural land. So land has become extremely 10,000 times, 1,000 times more expensive. It is worth gold in some of the places in the world. Land in Bombay and Delhi is worth gold. So that's the idea. Next. Next, please. I think this is complicated. Next, please. Yeah. So this is the kind of, it's a workflow, just to impress all of you that I know how workflow charts are made in PowerPoint. But I've already talked about this. There are 3 pillars: registration office, the land records office, and the revenue courts, if there's a dispute. And if these 3 people don't talk to each other, you can have the best system on each offices, but they are not integrated. It doesn't lead to anything else. So our idea is that registration system and land record system completely controls each other. If there's a court case between 2 brothers, they are fighting in the judicial court, the registrar should not be able to register, because he can keep on registering documents while there's a court case happening. If there's a mortgage on the bank loan, as a buyer, I should know that there's a mortgage of bank loan on this loan. People don't know. Information is held by the government in various buildings in Lima and Delhi. We want this information to be available to every citizen in the country. That's the dream that we have. Whatever government knows, whatever everybody in this hall knows, should be known to the place where you work in, to every citizen. If it is not known, the system is not working perfectly fine. We are just trying. It's a very complicated job we are doing, but we are trying to move in that direction, and it has the approval at the highest level in the government, because everybody is troubled. When I make these presentations in Delhi at the highest level, they say take any amount, use best technology in the world, but make land records best possible in the world. Land records, if they're not good, delays industrialization, delays development. It costs GDP. It is a huge cost. If you're a private company and you don't know what you're acquiring, land acquisition is a huge problem across the world. You're not sure about the title. So I think we were doing assessment in the country. Two-thirds of the civil court cases in the country, 2/3 are for land. 1/3 of the criminal cases in the country, my country, is for land. It pulls down my GDP by almost 1 to 3%, 1.3% per year. We don't want to do that. We need to be very sure about who is owning the land. Only 2 simple questions. Who is owning and where and how much? This is the 3 questions that we need to answer very clearly. If we are able to answer this question very clearly and seamlessly, you don't need land records to be updated every 30 years or 5 years. We want land records to be live documents which are updated on the go. So that's the idea we are working on, and that is the computerization we have finished. Online we are completely online. We don't allow any manual systems to operate. Paperless, we have gone. Last one is where we're moving. So presence-less. Why you should be present? Why the Learned Defense Counsel or the advocate needs to be present? Is it required to be so legally fought, unless it is so important to require? Next. We are also using blockchain, so that if you change a record, somebody else also changes a record, there's a stamp that you have changed the record. We are using blockchain. If you understand blockchain, you must be doing that, because I have heard since morning, although I understood only half of it, about AI and blockchains. We use blockchain. So blockchain is inbuilt in the system. So if 5 people can change a document, all 5 should know that the document has changed. World is simple. People from IT can make it extremely complicated. As a government servant, as a bureaucrat, I make things simple for the citizens of the country. Blockchain is basically 5 people can make a decision. If either 5 of them together make a decision, or if one of them has made a decision, other 4 come to know that a decision has been made. So we are protecting all our interoperable database by blockchain. We have started using blockchain big way now in the country. Next. Okay, next please. This is a lot of text, but I was exchanging notes with the organizers here, and they told they want to know about the Registration Act. It's quite old, 1908, the Registration Act. We have a new copy going to the Parliament soon. The draft is on the website. I can circulate a copy to everybody. It's a very new document, Registration Act 2025. We realized that we can't survive with the Registration Act of 1908. Well drafted, well written for that point of time. But today, it doesn't talk about online, it doesn't talk about paperless, it doesn't talk about WhatsApp. That act is silent. It is a act frozen 100 years back. Anything 100 years back needs to move on in life. You can't live on earth forever and ever. So we are making this new act coming up. Next, please. I will avoid the text. I know text can be very boring, but I am independent between lunch and the talk, so I'll avoid the text. Okay, so this is the system. If you want to look at the system that we have, if you have interest in this, we call it the NGDRS, National Generic Document Registration System. We register marriages also. I'm talking about land because I work in land, but registrar can register anything possible. Registrar is basically witnessing agreement between buyer and seller, or between 2 parties. Marriage is also a contract, between husband and wife. So if 2 people want government to witness something, registrar can register. That's the idea in our country. I don't know about here, but when the 2 parties, they can also sign it informally. I can sign on a piece of paper, or he can sign on a piece of paper. That's the agreement. That's the agreement. That's not a deed. The registration deed has to be done by the government. It has to be done in the presence of the registrar. So we have built a system, one nation, one software. With the diversity that we have, this is our Honorable Prime Minister's call that the country should have only one software across the country and make it language compliant, make it metric system compliant, but one nation should have only one software. And this is the software that we are using. Have a look at this. This software is totally online, totally paperless, linked to land records, affects land records, is also presenceless, also linked to banks. We were having a problem, how do you tell the bankers, if I take a loan on my apartment or a bank loan on my land, how do I put it? Because if I come to the government to put, the program is extremely inefficient. I'm sorry, I'm also a government servant, but if you come to the government, you make it we try to make things complicated and inefficient. So we have given the bankers the right to put a charge on the record of rights. And they are very happy because they are giving the loan. We are not giving the loan. Why you come to the registrar to put a charge? We are challenging all these assumptions in the country that survive for hundreds of years. Why should registrar have the power to put a charge or a mortgage? Let the bankers give a charge. So bankers are very happy. They are putting a charge. The moment they give a loan, I think the loan is being processed, they put a charge on the record of right or on the registration deed, then now such an amount, so many dollars have been, or rupiah has been taken as a loan. They forget to take out the charge. We are facing a problem. When the loan is finished, the bankers don't take out the charge. That's a struggle that we are having in the country, but we have allowed. Like mobile number, the record, I don't know about, again, Peru, I need to be more educated. Do the land records and registration system have mobile numbers of the people? I don't know. If it has, it is amazing, but we don't. And we thought government officer will go to the village and city and take the take the mobile number. And then we decided this will be inefficient. This would take 5 years or 10 years to make the government officer to go to every flat in Lima or to every flat in Delhi and ask for the mobile number. And we opened the land record document to the citizens. Please come to your land record, put your mobile number. Anybody is free to put his mobile number in the government documents. Only thing is, he needs to attach a document with his name and address so that we check that the mobile number is the same. And the system worked. Almost 50% mobile number is done. If we thought we will do it as a government, it would have been an inefficient system. We told the citizens to do it, they did it overnight. The problem is, I also put my mobile number in his land records. All the lawyers put mobile number in every peri-urban area of Lima. All the property dealers put their mobile number because they also want to be knowing when it is being sold and bought. But that's the only problem. But that's good. That's good. Everybody has a right to know what is the price at which the land is being bought. Why should only the government officer know what is the price of the land? Everybody should know, and bankers should know the most, and the investors should know the most, and the builders should know the most. So that's the kind of phenomena we have moved through. This was given the Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in 2021, and is a very good system, and we have made it go across the country. Next, please. Okay, this is just to impress you that I know my system, but I don't want to bore you with a complicated system, although I know IT and the system flow, but it is a seamless, interoperable system that migrates through the architectures that we have. It was a difficult job. We created so many VPNs, we created so many APIs, and we have integrated the system. We are trying, we are still moving on, and some of the systems are on Excel sheets. Some of the systems are still manual. Property tax is on Excel sheet. They know that somebody in this area in Lima gives a property tax. They don't know which land parcel. So that is not spatial, that's textural. So we are working on this. Next, please. Let me go to some interesting things. We have 11 modules in this. So just to highlight some of them, as the earlier presenter was showing, if I want to buy a flat in Lima and he wants to purchase a flat in Lima, the deed is generated online. You just need name, address, buyer, seller, the total stamp duty, registration fee. The deed is generated online all the time. You don't need to go to a lawyer to make a registration deed. There's nothing great about making a registration deed. We have put 74 samples, formats of deeds online. If you're marrying somebody, just put your name and your fiance's name, and the system generates a deed. So my deed, we call it my deed. So people are generating their own deed. So deed is generated online. If you tell where my land or flat is, it calculates the stamp duty and registration fee. Please pay online. You please don't meet the registrar. People don't meet registrar, they meet only once. I want to take that also. Before the document is complete, nobody meets the registrar. Nobody knows who is the registrar. Everything is done online. The deed is generated online. The payments are made online. The payment calculation is made online. And when all this document is ready, the registrar reads this document and says there is no problem. If there is a problem, he sends an email saying there is a problem in calculation, there is a problem in language. Everything happens before. So if you want to trouble citizen, trouble online. Don't call him to your office and trouble. That's our idea. Trouble him online. Tell him you need more document. When you are satisfied as a registrar that everything is in place, you allow the system to generate date and time. And I can pick up my date and time. Whenever I have time, I pick up a date and slot. I go to the registrar office, both the buyer and the seller, or a marriage between two people, and it takes 7 minutes now to do your fingerprinting, to do your unique identification, and you come out in 7 minutes, and the deed will come to you by the evening. That's the kind of system we have built up now. We are building up across the state. That is quite efficient. So these are the stamp duty calculator, case monitoring. You can look there. 11 modules are there. We are making more modules now. We are making it presence-less also. You can just record your video from all the sides. The system recognizes you. You have the government ID in front of you. You say, I am so-and-so, and I am selling this property. At that point of time, the system is reading the picture here, is also taking a picture and identifying that you are the same person. And you are telling it willingly that I am selling this property. This is what the registrar does. There is no duress. Okay. So this is one thing that we've done. Some interesting things I'll tell you because I told about registration system. You can ask me questions, how I designed the system and all that. How we designed. We work as a team. I do only what my team does. I don't do things myself. So this is important. Land was measured, but every land parcel doesn't have an identity. It is not georeferenced, doesn't have an identity right now in the country. And we thought with so many millions of land parcels in the country, we'll have a program in which every land parcel, like every citizen, will have an identity. And this is the program called the ULPIN, so Unique Land Parcel Identification Number. I'm happy to tell you we have generated almost 50% land parcels in the country. I want to complete 50% by the end of this year. So every land parcel has 14-digit number, 6 digit for the latitude, 6 for the longitude, and 2 for the height if you're living in an apartment. So this is ULPIN we are generating for the country. And then this ULPIN you can type on the Google and go to your land parcel, whether it is in the remotest Amazon forest or in a tropical forest. So it takes you, it is georeferenced. And the ULPIN is different from, you can say, why don't you use lat long? You know, lat long is a point. Latitude and longitude, if I take out a map right now, it is my point right now. It is not area. ULPIN has area. So it goes to all the boundaries of the land parcel and takes out a central point. But backhand, it has the boundary also. Whatever might be the shape, it has the boundary characteristics inbuilt. So we are generating ULPIN for the whole country. ULPIN, if you identify every citizen, and if you identify every land parcel or every apartment, I think journey is going to be fabulous, as automated as possible. But that is what we are trying to do. We are generated half, we want to complete half this year. Soon we will have all land parcels in the country completely georeferenced, completely generated with a ULPIN code. Next. Yeah, so 149 million land parcels. We talk big. 150 million ULPINs have been generated. They are all on this system. And the registrar, when he buys or sells a land, the ULPIN will also come. You can't fudge. You can't say, any fraud will not happen. So you will have clear idea about what land you are talking about. Next. Okay, so this I've talked about, and maybe I'll skip this, but we are integrating this. We are bad at maps. I don't know how good Peru is in maps. Land parcel maps are quite bad. It has evolved, it has inherited, it has multiplied, it has broken into pieces. You know, 1 acre land parcel, when it comes near Lima, it breaks into 200 parcels. How good is the map is my question. And we are now launching a program in which we are flying drones across the country and generate map for every land parcel. Next. Okay, so we are using AI. I was looking at the presentation very cautiously, and I'm talking to all the largest concern, ISRI and Hexagon, all the largest firms in the world, and trying to make a system for our own country. We have a lot of document and data. How do you, so if I have an electricity bill in Lima, and a water bill, and a gas connection, and an apartment bill, can a system find my name in all the records? Is a challenge that we are going. The records are all digital, all PDF files. Can my name be found in all the records? Can everything belonging to the land parcel come on one piece of land? Is the journey we are taking. So AI we are using. We try to use AI for feature extraction. So if you fly a drone over this room and open the roof, all these boundaries should be known. No? This is separate seating. Those lines are not coming very coolly, very easily, but we are using AI to do feature extraction, because we can extract features. I know every floor in India is 3.5 meter. Every house has 4.5 people. But can I figure that out on the go? Can I do it on the go? And that is the struggle of AI and ML. One is cleaning and looking at all the 100-year-old data. All the records, can I read them on the go in 22 languages and bring the real truth? Because, you know, government officers, I don't know about Peru again, but we only are the people who know all the laws that have evolved in 100 years, and we also know about all the records that we have. Nobody else in the world knows, and that is a monopoly. Monopoly is the worst economy, if you're an economist. So monopoly is what we hold in the government normally. Next. Okay, so this is the kind of document. Somebody was showing, I think Madam was talking about AI ML. We are tweaking all these documents, making PDF files, making them go and trying to read all this. And it was shown, a demo was shown about reading the PDF files. But we are also generating the system about how do you make these records available and do a past history. How many times this land was sold? How many times it was bought? Who bought? From whom? At what point of time? This lineage, your own history is important. History of the document is also very important to figure out what it is. Next. We mask, so we don't disclose citizen all the unique IDs. If you've given your mobile number, we'll mask the first 8 digits. If you've given your bank account, we'll mask, the system masks automatically. It is not available to anybody in the country except the government officers. So it's not that your mobile number or unique identification is available to anybody. It is completely masked by the system. AI enabled, masking of first 14 digit all the time. Last 3 years available to you to figure out what it is. Next. So we call it AI masking. Next, please. Linguistic barriers. I talked about this. All the, if you want to travel, if I could also give you a travel advisory about where to go in India, when. It's an amazing place to travel. So next, please. We have languages barriers. I have currently a language barrier. In one language, if you travel across country, we have language barriers across the country. Next, please. Next. So this we are doing for urban habitation, just launched this year, 150 urban local bodies, 1,938 million we are spending, and we are trying to test all the models. Can we do by 2 dimension? Do we require oblique cameras? Do we require LiDAR sensor? Do we require the slope? If you know technology, surface model, elevation model, terrain model. We are planning our cities quite bad. They're getting flooded every year. So we are trying to do, next please. This program is on. We'll be completing in March. So this is the whole thing. Aerial flying, feature extraction, ground truthing, integrating of data using AI and ML, and then digitizing and georeferencing all the maps, quality check, and then publish the maps in the cities. And listen, wait for objections. People will come and say, no, I am also owner. I am a brother, I am also owner, or he is a wrong owner. Let that process happen, then publish final map, and almost like a card, like a bank card, give everybody a flat card. That is all the information. All the information is what we're looking at the Naksha program. Naksha is a word in Hindi that means map. So we are creating maps for urban areas, very adventurous in a complicated place like India. We are trying to navigate softly, slowly. Technology can be very impressive, but doesn't work on ground. Ground realities are different from technology. I have realized this in life. Technology is so good, but not better anymore. Next, please. Okay, next, please. So this is what we're doing. We are using 2D Nadir camera with 2D feature extraction, oblique camera, 5 cameras operate all the time. And we're also using LiDAR sensor to give me bare earth. Take out the buildings and give me a map for the whole country. Next. Okay, so this was the other program. I talked about survey of villages and mapping. This we have completed. Now we are going to urban. Next, please. Next. 5,000 million we spent. So we have, incidentally, we have also established for the whole country a network called the CURS. If you understand technology, we don't depend. If you have your mobile or the old GPS, you always have to look for 3 satellites in the sky to give you a precise instrument. In the country, we have established 1,000 continuously operating reference system. They borrow from all satellites in the world and give you signals all the time. All the time. So that is the dots. Those dots are continuously operating reference system that has been established across the country. So this was utilized, 1,042 stations by Survey of India. We have an institution called Survey of India. These systems give you 5 centimeter accuracy. So the process of doing survey and settlement is extremely less cumbersome now. You can stand alone like a recording instrument or like this and measure at 5 centimeter accuracy. Next. Next, please. Yeah, so this is what we have completed. Creation of accurate land records, enable the citizens to have their property as a financial asset. You can sell this property. The property is on the go. We're also looking at repository. We want to work and make land as an asset. You are a buyer, I am a seller. We don't know each other. And the journey is through property dealers and lawyers and builders and all that. Can we make land as an asset, and can we incentivize to sell and buy? So decision on property tax, survey infrastructure. Next, please. A lot of drones. Currently, all the world drones. So we also do a lot of consultation, signing. This is the easy portion. If you are using technology, if you want to use technology in Peru, the last 2 pictures are the easy picture. I spend 20% time and money and energy on technology. 80% time and energy is going on finding the government documents and going to the ground, ringing the bell and trying to find
who is the owner. So that's important. So that I say a lot of time people get, that is the ground control point, and the reference stations. And then we talk to the people, community, they should agree. The best technology is a technology that citizens like, not what you preach in seminars or conference halls. All the technology fails miserably. Yeah, I know. Last slides. Yeah. Okay, next please. So anyway, 300,000 villages completed, so many thousand images we have stored, available to people, available to academicians to borrow and steal and work on. All the records should be available to everybody who wants to do great research. This would be great ML. Machine learning will depend on how much data you give to the private companies. And we are giving all the data free of cost. Next, please. So petabytes of data across the country. Next. Next, in the limited time, if I have some questions, I'd like to ask them. You know the challenges. Survey methodology and technology is a challenge. If you measure land today, as you measured in the Andes 100 years back, they will not match. If you start doing that, they will never match. So people have to understand, somebody's land will increase, somebody's land will decrease. Two brothers, one's land will increase, one will decrease, and they have to understand and appreciate and take this. Next, please. Okay, so but we are also having, so anyway, let's complete. This is the last slide. We are having very focus on citizen. Our focus is not on technology, not in registrars, not on land record guy. Our focus is on citizen. The whole program is built to citizen-centric, not to devise a fabulous program which works for you, but doesn't work for the people. The people of India should have a great technology. Then we also revising laws, reforms, standing operating procedures, manuals, regulations, huge amount of data. We are cleaning them and making them modern as possible. A lot of training is required, capacity building. We are saturating digitization and georeferencing in the country. I've told about all the things that we are using. Ultimately, we have presumptive titling right now, but sooner or later we want to move to conclusive titling. Government should be able to give you a stamp that yes, you are the owner and you own so much. I think that journey is still to go, but we want to move very quickly to concluding. If your land comes out less and I tell you it is 1 acre and actually it is less than 1, I'll pay you. Is the kind of conviction that we should have with technology. So whole of government and role-based approach. Last statement is what Honorable PM says, minimum government and maximum governance, not the other way around. Currently we have maximum government and minimum governance. We want to go to maximum governance and minimum government. Challenging my own job, but it's good to challenge your own job. I might lose it, but it will be good for the country to gain. Thank you. Next, please. Last slide. I finish on time. I finished before time. She gave a chit before that. Thank you so much. Gracias por